We're back in California and we are working the local job, the LRF73, on the Fresno to Modesto route, and we're actually working for Union Pacific this time. So let's get these engines fired up here. Let's get these engines started. And if you want to play along, I've included instructions in the description below on how to download my world save file so you can play this exact local job. And while the air is getting filled up, let's take a look at the map and see where we are here. So if you take a look over to the left, you could see where we are there near Fresno, or in Fresno, California. And if I turn on the train yards and zoom in, we're going to be starting down here from UP Fresno. You can see the little symbol there. Here's our yard. This is where we're going to be pulling out of, and we're going to be heading northwest, and we're going to be going to Madera and working some industrial areas right in here. So we got our depot map up here, and here's the Fresno yard where we're going to be pulling out of, and we're going to be heading north to the North Madera siding and the Madera Industrial Park. You can see it right there. And then once we back in, we're going to be coming in from this area here, and we'll be working all these industries. And it seems like just a, one area. It doesn't seem too complex, but I think it's going to be actually a bit of a challenge. So hopefully it goes smooth. We pull up our train HUD here. We've got 1.4 horsepower per ton. We're 4,200 tons, 31 loads, 6 empties, and we've got a length of 2,407 feet. All right, let's take our parking brake off. Let's get our gauge lights on. I think we will open up this rear door for some better engine sounds. And we can do a brake test and get the switches going. So our flow's all the way down, so let's apply the automatic brake. We'll drop it down to 70. And that should go pretty quick because we're such a short train. See, we got 79 on the rear. And while that's coming down, let's get our switches lined up so we could get out of the yard. Take a look at our dispatch screen. We're down here. So you can see this block just turned pink because I just threw the switch on that main line. So now we're going to go to, we got to go about 20 miles. Oh, I got to check our map. Let's go back to our map. So it looks like South No Tarb is the control point just past North Madera. So I'm going to have auto route us there, and then I'm going to need to be slowing down. I'm going to go past the North Madera siding and then back in. All right, so I'm going to double right click here. Set that as our destination block, and then let's give auto a call. Well, I guess we don't have to go too far here to get to a control point. Oh, let's actually wait. We gotta check our brakes. So we got, we're 72 on the rear. Let's bring this down a little bit more. There's 70. Pull up our brake chart at the top. Everything looks good. Well, we got a car that's slow to release there near the rear. You see that dark purple? We might have to cut that one out. Otherwise could trigger a hot box. Look at how slow that's releasing. Let's walk back there and see. That one's released. This one right here is our problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go cut out and then I'll bleed it. So now that one is just going to be there. The air is going to go through, but no brakes on that one. But we won't have any dragging brakes. Alright, all the brakes are released. And I want to show, I keep forgetting this. I'm going to put the brake chart back up. Let's go back down to 70. So one of you had asked about bailing off the brakes, so I want to show, and look at the top there, you see that white block? That's the one we just cut out. So you can see the brakes aren't applying on that car. So now once you've got your automatic brake, you got a 20-pound reduction here. Let's go a little bit more. Now we want to make sure that the brakes bail off. And on this needle here, the red needle's hiding behind the white one here. The red is the brake cylinder for the locomotives. So if I release the independent brake, which is the locomotive brakes, it's only going to drop down to, what is that, 37? Let's see, what's it say up here? 38 psi. And I want to make sure that we can bail completely the locomotive brakes, because when you apply the automatic brake, it also applies the brakes on the locomotive, but you don't really want to use the locomotive brakes, from what I've been told, over 10 miles per hour. So if we're going 30, 40, 60 miles an hour and we want to apply the train brake, when we apply the automatic brake, it's automatically going to apply pressure to the locomotive, and you don't want that at those speeds. So what you would do is you'd hold down your bail off, which for me it's the period key. I can't remember if that's the default or if I changed it. And if I hold it down now, it takes a little while. Now in the brake chart you can see the locomotives. Now it's coming down. And you got to keep holding to make sure that you got both locomotives. Now I could release it. So what you would do while you're driving is usually what I do is I actually hold down the bail button first, then hit the automatic brakes to reduce the brake pipe, so the brakes apply on all the freight cars. And the whole time I'm holding down the bail button for like 5-10 seconds just to make sure, and then I release both, and you shouldn't see any PSI come up in the locomotive brake on that needle that's currently at 0. And if you do, you might, if you release the bail too early, you might get like 1 or 2 PSI in there, and you just bail again, bail it off. So now I'll put the independent back on, release the automatic brake, and we'll start moving out of here. And we got to get up to the next control point. Oh, actually, we got a little bit too much flow. I probably should have waited a little bit longer. We want our CFM there at the top here. We want this to get below 60 before we start moving. And you can see it on the needle here. Alright, now let's give it another notch. Shoot. I think I might have to go away from that lever drag because it's just giving me some problems. I'll just go back to the keyboard. And I decided, I think what I'm going to do is leave all these checked here for the air brake cheat. And then I'm going to still work the, oh, I love this street sign out there. That's an awesome addition to this new route. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm still going to work the angle cocks and stuff like when we get to a new cut of cars, but then to speed it up so we're not just sitting there while all the cars are charging, then I'll hit F7 to charge them up. So in order to get a signal from auto, I have to go through that signal that's up ahead there, that approach signal. And as soon as I cross through there, then I can call him and he'll give us a route. Looks like we got some kind of high-level meeting over here. And as soon as this counter hits 0, then I can jump to the back and I'll flip that switch back. And now we shouldn't, yep, now there's no more pink block here. Oh, now we're out of the yard so we can get it up to 40 miles per hour. Looks like a lot of logs over there. This is all really, I've never even noticed this. I like all these new industries over here, look pretty good. Haven't worked those yet. That'll be in a later episode. just gave us a signal. We are good to go. But we don't know what the signal is. We're hoping for green, but we have to be cautious. Dropping down to 30 miles an hour here. So I'm going to hold the bail key and then do a minimum reduction, and I'm still holding the bail key so that I don't get any pressure on the locomotive brakes. Now I could let go of the bail and release the automatic brake because we're hitting 30 miles an hour. should be jumping up to 60 miles per hour as soon as our train, the back of our train, crosses that 60 sign we just went past. Maybe not. Thought that was a 60 sign. I guess not. Or maybe we just haven't cleared it yet. Oh, there we go, up to 40. There's 55. Got a little over 10 miles to go. I think that... Is that the spur that we're supposed to be going down? I think it is. Are we already at milepost 180? We are. Oh, wow. Alright, we gotta slow down here. Wow, that came up really fast. We're gonna go way past. Get these dynamics going. That 10 miles went by real quick. Let's see where we're at here. How far past this did we go? Oh man, that was perfect actually. It was kind of a rushed stop, but that's what we needed. Or we didn't need a rushed stop, but we needed to stop roughly where we did. So we're going to be backing in here. And let's take a look at our map. We're going to be looking for that spur there. We're going to drop the back half of the train on this track. And then we're going to work these industries here first. So we're looking for the third switch. We want to go through the third switch. All right, so let's take her backwards. Oh man, where are we? Holy cow, we're up on the bridge. Oh, we're going a little bit fast. think we need to start slowing down up here. Are we getting close? Yeah, right up here. So we're going to push half the train past the switch, and then we're going to keep the front half. And I need to cut it at NutriBlend. So this covered hopper right here is where we're going to cut it. So I got to go past just a little bit with that one. We're just going to leave all of these over here for now, and then we're going to work those later. I just pulled the dynamics off there at the end, but I got the train brake on, so that way it'll kind of bunch them up a little bit. So when we go to uncouple here, we won't have any issue. All right. Now, before we forget, let's jump to the back and pull this EOT off, so we don't have any troubles. And now we can cut this section off. Let's get some handbrakes set here. And then we'll let the air dump here on these. I'll leave that open. Just close this one. Got to back up so it's not too loud. And that's going to do it for episode 1 of the LRF73 Local Job here in Modesto, Modesto? Merced? Where are we? Madera?